Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Kirby Air Riders Rides of the Week. This series will be similar to Game Builder Garage Games of the Week, and I will showcase 10 different custom air ride machines made in the My Machine mode submitted by viewers. There's a lot of really cool air ride machines to show off here, so let's go ahead and get started. So now that we're in the garage, let's take a look at some of these machines. The first one was made by Tanaka, and it uses the Wagon star as a base, and is based on a Heave-Ho from Mario 64. Really cool to see an obscure Mario enemy represented. So on the back it makes use of a wind-up key, which is perfect! And I really like the details on the front too, making it look pretty accurate to the enemy, just kind of within the restraints of the Wagon star's design. So this is just a really cool looking machine based on a Mario enemy here. So this next machine was made by DeYellowGuy and uses the Wagon star as a base, and is based on that one Asgore meme. I'm driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. I really like the details here with the music notes coming out from the sides. It just looks perfect, and is the perfect way of representing this meme. So I definitely really like how this looks. So this next machine was made by Eevee, and it uses the bulk star as a base, and is based on Vaporeon. And this looks really nice. I really like the details with the tail being replicated on the back, and the fishing rod being included as well. I also like how in the garage here, when you rotate the model, it kind of like moves the fishing rod around. I think that's pretty cool, but I really like the design of this machine. It looks really nice. And I definitely think the artwork of Vaporeon on the front looks pretty nice as well. So this next machine was made by TC Dreamer and uses the paper star as a base, and is based on Ribbon from Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. I really like the design here. It really encapsulates the whimsical energy of Ribbon. And it's unfortunate that Adeline and Ribbon aren't playable in this game, but at least the fans get to make up for it by making machines based on them in this game. So this is definitely a really cool machine. So this next machine was made by Rat L Boy and uses the Winged Star as a base, and is based on the blue Falcon from F-Zero, so it's really nice to see some F-Zero representation here. In a way, Kirby Air Riders almost feels reminiscent of F-Zero in the sense that it feels very high-paced in its racing sections, and I really hope that we get a new fully fledged F-Zero game at some point. If we got a sequel to Kirby Air Ride, a game that is over 20 years old, then we can get a sequel to F-Zero GX at some point. At least we got F-Zero 99, which is really fun, but I do hope we get a full new F-Zero game at some point. So this next machine was made by Splashy, and it uses the Vampire Star as a base, and it's based on Zero 2 from Kirby 64. Honestly, one of my favorite Kirby villains, and it's like the prime textbook example of the Eldritch horrors you usually see in Kirby games. And I am so glad that Zero 2 came back as a boss in this game. It is just absolutely incredible. I just love the design of this air ride machine here. It really encapsulates the feeling of Zero 2, and I love how it incorporates the aspects of the new design seen in this game as well. This next machine was made by Rick and uses the Warp Star as a base, and is based on that from Wii Sports. Wii Sports was one of the first games I've ever played, since I got a Wii when I was very young, and Matt also became a meme over the years, so it's perfect to see him as an air ride machine. This is just incredible, and I love how you can kind of replicate the style of a Mii with the tools that you have in My Machine. It's pretty easy to kind of make a Mii into that style, so I definitely like how this was implemented. This next machine was made by Hypermariosunshine and uses the paper star as a base, and is fittingly based on Lady Bow from Paper Mario 64, so it's amazing seeing some Paper Mario representation here. And for her bows, it uses some red ribbons, which look really nice, and I really like the textures that kind of make up her face here. It definitely looks very nice, and the colors match up perfectly. So, a really cool representation of one of the best Paper Mario partners. So the next machine was made by DeYellowGuy and uses the Warp Star as a base, and is based on Patrick from SpongeBob. Pretty fitting since we got SpongeBob Titans of the Tide recently, as well as SpongeBob and Patrick being added to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and the new SpongeBob movie is coming out next month. So this is really cool and definitely fits pretty well with the design of the Warp Star here, since well, it's the same shape as Patrick, and it looks really cool overall. So the final machine was made by Watchbfdi on Blue Sky, and was made using the Vampire Star, and is based on the Cataquack from Super Mario Sunshine. I really like how it uses the middle section of the Vampire Star to kind of replicate the Cataquack's eye, and this just looks really cool overall. And outside of the little Cataquack design, it also kind of is themed around the Cataquack's colors too. And it's pretty nice since Cataquack was also a playable character in Mario Kart World, so it's pretty cool to see some representation of the Cataquack in another racing game on the Switch too. But this is really cool. I think the Cataquack is a very underrated Mario enemy, and is my secondary in Mario Kart World, so this is just really cool overall. So anyways, that was the first episode of Rides of the Week. There were a lot of great machines shown off here, so I am definitely planning on doing more episodes in the future. So if you want a chance for me to show off your vehicle, fill out the Google form linked in the description. I'm also accepting submissions on my Discord server as well, in the Skya channel. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!